Hi everyone, we are back with our page from the Colouring Heaven Halloween special, and this little image by Agotapop we are going to be doing today with our Polychromos pencils. So let's come in close, have a little look. It's got a lot of details in today's picture. I'm just trying to get it in the middle. There we go. So we have our boot, we have leaves and flowers basically, and maybe little stones and things like that. So I was thinking this main part of the boot here I might do in a sort of red, like a patent shiny red leather. Thought might be fun, bit different, a little bit Halloweeny I guess. So this is my middle cadmium red, and it's quite a dark red. I'm just going to start by putting a layer of that on the part of the boot that I want to be really red. I'm not sure whether I'm going to do this bit red, this bit red. I haven't thought it all through yet. Now I'm going to colour over the little dots here and the stars. Possibly not the stars, but I find colouring around things like that makes colouring evenly a lot more difficult. So I'm just going to colour over them because maybe not the star. I'm going to be going over those dots with a pen, so it doesn't matter too much, in my opinion, that if they're coloured. I think I'll go around the star, but leave those dots just because they're small. It's a bit fiddly. Now I'm using fairly hard pressure, but this is just my first layer of colour. I'm very sorry for the noise. I don't know if you can hear it in the background. There's some DIY going on next door. Now the base of the boot, you would normally see a little bit of a sole there and maybe do it black, but we can't see that, so I'm just going to continue with my red for this bit. But we do have a heel over here which will be done differently. I like this little cobweb detail here as well. It's cool, isn't it? Now I'm trying to remember we used sparkly pens, didn't we, for our dots and stars. What I've decided to do is to make this into 3 6-part series. So my channel members will get a compilation video of the first 6 parts, then the second 6 parts, then the third 6 parts, so that, goodness that's loud, so that it's a little bit easier for me really, because if I have to get all 18 of these pictures done before I can release the members only compilation, I will feel like I have to rush them a little bit to get them out on time. And also it means the file size will be very big. It will take a really long time for me to put together that compilation video, so it gives my computer a little bit of an easier task as well, because exporting videos can take a long time. I find that if it's just one video like this and there's no, say it's one file, then it doesn't take too long. But if there's lots of files that have to be glued together, such as a compilation video, that takes longer. Or even if I'm doing a shorter video and I've had to pause it or stop it because I've gone off to do something, with doorbells rung or phone or whatever, that takes a bit longer. It's almost as if it's gluing something together. It takes longer. I don't really understand how the IT works, but if it's a long video and in lots of parts, it can take ages. It can take, you know, I might have to run it overnight or sometimes longer than overnight. And the thing is, when that is happening, it sort of ties up my computer. I can do minimal things, but I can't sort of, if I put too much strain on it by doing anything much, then it'll fall over. No, it just runs really, really slowly. So it's easier to do them in smaller batches So that's what I'm going to do for a couple of reasons, really. Right, here is our basic red. It's not particularly neat at the moment. It's just my basic. And what I'm thinking of is, where am I going to put a little bit of shadow? Thinking I'd like a little bit of shadow along the bottom here where it's low down. So I'm going to pop that in next and then go over with another layer of red. But what do I use for the shadow? I think maybe a brown might work. Sepia perhaps, actually. I might use my favourite. I can't find it. There it is. The dark sepia. I might use that down here at the bottom, just to put a little shadowy line. So put my line in, and then I'm just going to scumble it up a little bit like that. Really, nothing too difficult. And then actually I feel there might be a bit here as well, like that. Now I'm going to go over this in a slightly lighter yellow. This is the yellow, no, deep red, what am I saying, yellow, I don't know. So here is the deep red, so I had to just sharpen it, get myself organised. And I'm just going to go over the top of the darker colour that's there already. And I'm hoping this will help to burnish it a little bit, make it a bit more solid. Finish it off, we can blend in that sepia colour as well. I'm trying to think of what to do with the rest. I'm sort of thinking at the moment that I might make these red, these the sort of tongue as we call it, and then maybe this edging in a different colour. And then we've got all our little, I'm gonna leave the leaves till a bit later, because I want to know what shade of green is going to match best with the other colours that I choose, because we've got this flower here to do. So, you know, what do we do for that? Do we do it in a sort of scary Halloweeny colour or a pretty colour? It's got to match the red, I would say. So we need to consider that. Yeah, we'll see. I've been colouring some Halloween bookmarks. My husband has made some, drawn some. There's 4 of them. It's a free download on his Ko-fi, and he downloaded me a set onto some card, and because I downloaded his Towers and Gardens bookmarks and coloured those on videos, which you may have seen. But I downloaded them onto quite a thin card. I didn't know. I just grabbed some card out of the drawer, and it was a little bit thin, and they're a bit thin in my books. You know, I had one here. No, I haven't got one in here anymore. So they're a bit thin. So he printed his new ones out for me on some thicker card, and so I was colouring them. I was apparently slightly not quite understanding what the things were. Now he's got such a strange imagination. I'm going back to the middle cadmium red to do these sections. I'm just gonna just block them in at the minute. He's got such a strange imagination that I couldn't quite grasp what everything was. So I said to him, this little thing here by there was a little mouse hole drawn on the wall, which was rather cute. I said, this little thing next to it, is that a spider? He went, well, it can be if you want it to be. I said, well, what was it supposed to be? It wasn't a mouse. He was like, no, he said it was the lamp on the wall by the mouse's front door. But it was so small that I just couldn't make out what it was. And he has a few bits. I'm going to go in there, look. He has a few bits like that on some of them where I can't quite work out what it is. And I was colouring them, he wasn't at home. He was at work. So I couldn't ask him what it was. So I had to just guess. So we'll see. I have warned him that he needs, because he said, oh, I'm going to make another set of bookmarks with this and that and the other and blah, blah, blah. And I said, look, you need to be really thoughtful of the fact that we have to colour these. And we need to be able to work out what it is and actually get some colour into the little teeny details, you know. So I was trying to make him understand. And then I've coloured 2 of them, I haven't finished them yet. And he was like, wow, you've really brought them to life, it's really good. And I was like, thank you. He never normally notices what I'm doing, really, you know. Doesn't take a lot of notice of my colouring. Is always hanging about and he just doesn't really look at it. It's not that he's thoughtless, it's just it's ADHD, I think, and he's very much wrapped up in his own world, you know. Right, I'm looking at the boot. Now we have a line here and we have a line here where we're looking at the inside, and so all this here and yeah, all this bit here, everything underneath the leaves is the inside of the boot. I'm just marking it out roughly with this pencil, and I'm going to grab my dark sepia and we're going to do a little bit more work on getting some shadow. Oh, I've lost my pen. Did you hear it rolling away? Dark sepia. Right, so what I'm going to do firstly with this, we're going to do some work up here in a minute. It's going to start at the bottom, is put a little bit of a shadowy edge along here, because if you imagine what a boot looks like, which I actually can't do, the edge of this tongue, it tucks down inside this bit, so I'm thinking this bit is a little bit deeper. I don't know if that's the right word. I'm just going to scumble that up a bit there and put a little bit of shadow underneath each of our laces. It's such a cute little boot. Imagine wearing a pair of boots like, there's no room for your toe. I don't wear heels, so I don't really know how it all works, but really, where am I going to put my foot? Am I going to be standing on my tiptoe? I guess that's how high heels work. And what here, I'm going to put sepia on top of all of this because, oh, not the leaf. Like that, and then a slightly darker line along the edge here, sort of scumble it up. We'll get some more red in there. I'm just going to erase where I went wrong, which was, oh, or did I? No, I didn't go wrong. That is there. Yeah, I think that's right anyway. Who knows? Now I'm going to take the deep red again and go over it, and then I'll see whether it needs darkening up anymore. Deep red. So let's go over all these little sections. Actually, while it's nice and sharp, I'm going to do these bits. There we go. Yeah, my neighbour sounds like he's using an electric screwdriver or something in the wall. I don't know if it's in the wall between our 2 houses. Sometimes he's down in the garage and the sound just carries up the house. But it is what it is. I don't know whether you can hear it on camera or not. I know someone was talking about hearing a sort of whooshing sound the other day, which was interesting. I couldn't work out whether that was road noise or not, but I don't know. Now I'm going to do this bit. I'm putting down quite a heavy layer. You can see I'm going back and forth quite a lot. Getting down a heavy layer. There we go. Right. Now where should we go? Now the laces. What colour laces would you wear with a red boot? Probably wear red, but let's not do red. Let's do something a bit more interesting. Could go, I was going to say could go grey. It's a bit boring, isn't it? Let's actually grab a grey and do the, what are they called? These loops. Yeah, they'll be metal, I think. So I'm going to use the Cold Grey 6. It's quite a dark grey. And make it really dark here. And here. a little gap, if you can, to look a bit shiny as if it's metal. You might want to use a slightly lighter grey, but I've gone dark. It looks a little less silvery than I'd like, but I've gone dark so that it shows up, because I've got a lot of dark sepia around there and things like that. I'm just doing this while I'm procrastinating and having a hot flash. HRT isn't working yet. I've got side effects, headaches and lightheadedness I had yesterday, but I actually slept right through the night though last night until 5 AM when my husband's alarm went off. And the night before, I've only been waking up once, but I think that might be more to do with the fact that it's colder than to do with the fact that I'm on the pills. But anyway, right, this piece here I'm going to do in black. Okay, I'm going to grab the black and just do it black. I know we've got some little dots on it and they'll disappear with this black, but I just want a bit of black on here. So I'm going to go colour over it a few times. It's quite intense. As I say, we'll lose that stitching, but I'm okay with that. And I'm going to do another bit black as well. I think the heel of the shoe I'm going to do in black. We can't, not the skull bit, just the actual heel. There. There's only a couple of little sections. It's quite a cool design, isn't it? But I'm wondering whether to do in the eyes, nose and mouth. I think I will. I'm not going to press this hard, I don't think. So I'm doing it quite lightly, so it's a slightly lighter black. Like that. I don't want them to look too unfriendly. They're cute. I might leave them white. I haven't quite decided yet, but I just thought I'd pop in that detail. Now I'm thinking about this bit on the back with the cobweb, and I think I'm going to do that in red, like the rest of the boot. So start with the middle cadmium red and just go over it here. I'm thinking about whether, now I know the I'm covering the cobweb. I'm going to draw that back in later. I think I might put a little bit of sepia just there, like we did on the bottom of the shoe. So the dark sepia along here, just a tad, and scumble it up like that, and then get the deep red and go over the top. Oh, my son's just come online. I hope that means he's in his class, which starts in a minute's time. There we go. So there's the heel. Yeah, I'm not going to draw that in now because I'm going to do all the sort of pen work at the end. Right, so I'm thinking these little pretty bits and the laces we could do in the same colour. I could leave them white, but I think it's going to just look like I've forgotten to colour it if I leave it white. We could go for a silver. That's quite difficult. I think purple, pink, blue. Oh, it's a difficult decision, isn't it? Or a light. I'm not going to go for a light red. I think I'm going to go for this. Is that going to work? Yeah, here we go. I've made a decision at last. Dark indigo I'm going to go for, but I'm going to keep it light, if that makes any sense. Let's give it a sharpen. I'll show you what I mean. Let's start with the laces. I want them a bit darker. If you can, now they're really small, a little bit darker at the bottom than the top. Quite tricky to do that. I'm basically just putting a few extra layers at the bottom. I'm not sure it's going to show up. This isn't going to be our only colour. It's quite blackish, isn't it? So what I'm going to do is pop another blue on top. And these I think I do darker here and a bit lighter to the tip. Quite small, it's quite tricky. I know we've got a little dot on each one. I'm afraid I'm ignoring that. A little bit small. Not in the mood for small. A minute. I don't know why. Sometimes when I'm listening to my neighbour doing his sort of whatever DIY he's doing, drilling, it sounds like he's using a electric screwdriver. I wonder how many screws he's got in his house. So many. Now I'm going to go for a lighter shade to sort of bring it forward a bit, if you know what I mean. It's a little bit, because it's so black, it sits back. So I'm just sharpening. This is the light ultramarine. Sorry you can't see it. I'm just going to pull my cardigan around my shoulders. Now my hot flush is gone. Light ultramarine. I'm going to go over everything with this and hopefully just slightly brighten it and burnish it all at the same time. This one still look quite dark, don't they? I can't decide what colour to do that lovely looking flower. I've got these little teeny dots inside it, which I think I'm going to have to do in pen. I've got no choice really. They're so small. Not sure I've got the right colour in here, but I can always grab one from next door. And then these as well. Now there's some petals, leaves on here, and I could choose to do them the same colour. I'm just going to grab my red, just fill in these gaps that I've missed. I could choose to do them the same colour as the leaves on the rest of the page. I'm going to choose their colour now, and then I'll decide a bit later. So we've got this sort of dark blue and red. I don't want to go too dark, but again, yeah. I'm going to use the juniper green. It is one of the darker greens. I'm going to use it lightly and then use the second colour, you see. A bit like we've been doing throughout, really. So here it is, juniper green. And I'm going to use the darker colour at the base. And then gently reduce it to the tip, like that. That, and then use the earth, I think it's the earth green, can't get hold of it, the earth green. Now this is quite a greyish green, again I need to sharpen. Use it over the whole thing to finish them all. Once these are done, I will go back and grab my red, the deep red, and I'm just going to colour around them a bit where I've missed bits. You may not need to do this, or you may not want to. There we go. So there's our basic shoe. I'm going to do the flower next. I want something that's going to stand out enough, but not too much, and I think I'm going to go for blues. I know blue is an unusual colour for a flower because we've got this blue here. I thought that maybe it will help it to sort of stand out a little more. Just looking at what pens I've got for the middle as well. I've got something that'll work. Brilliant. Definitely good news. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to use the sky blue and colour it all over, just a light initial layer. I'm going to colour over these. I shall draw over them at the end, so it's fine. As I say, I've just found that I've got the right colour. I'll either use a blue that I've got or a white. I haven't quite decided yet, but either way I've got the right colour. So that is good news. So colouring over it quite quickly and loosely to start with, like that, and then I can sort of see what's going on. Now I'm going to use the ultramarine. It's a little bit darker than the light ultramarine, as you would expect. There we go. I'm going to sharpen it, and we're going to do the sort of shadowy areas. There's one marked here, look, but I'm just going to start at the bottom, I think, here. So where the petals are overlapping, it's going to be a bit darker, and then just fade it a bit. So here, and then just fade. We can just keep working through all of the lovely petals. I'm now looking at the berries. We've got these berries up here. I'm thinking, what on earth colour am I doing those? Because I don't want to. I suppose I could pull, like red and blue together make purple, so I suppose I could do a purple berry. That might work. It's interesting, I wasn't looking forward to Halloween colouring. I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm not very keen on spooky, scary stuff. And then these came, I was like, whee! It's so good. Cackling. That I don't have to colour to things that has frightened me. I'm so pleased. And I'm so pleased for Agata that she's got some of her pictures again in here. I really, really, really hope this is the light ultramarine. I'm going to extend these areas. That she's got some in the Christmas edition too. Oh, that would be fabulous. But we'll see. I'm excited. I'm getting not only the Christmas edition, but there's some other Christmas magazines that Colouring Heaven are doing, and they're sending me those as well. They're being really generous, and they're sending me a few other things too. So I've got all sorts coming from them as a thank you, partly for they're extending my membership, my free membership. So it's very kind of them, but in essence they're sponsoring me, but they don't pay, they just give me freebies. Right, there we are. I'm going to use the, go back to the sky blue. I need to sharpen it. Pencil decided it wanted to come towards me. So here is our sky blue. I'm going to just sort of burnish and tidy. Oh, I can really smell the smell of the sharpened pencil today. That's weird. Why I can smell it extra strongly. Side effect of my meds. I remember actually once saying to a friend of mine, there was a smell in the high street. It was from a cafe or something, I think, and it was overpowering and I couldn't bear it, and it was nasty. And she said, "Are you pregnant?" I was like, no. She thought that the fact that I couldn't stand a smell was, this is cobalt blue. I'm going to use it for a few dark details, so in here. She thought that because because I couldn't bear her smell. I said, look, can we move? Can we stand somewhere else? As we just happened to see each other and we were nattering in the middle of the street, you know, as you do. But I don't know, I can't even remember what it was. But no, it wasn't because I was pregnant. I don't remember having that when I was pregnant, actually. I had a lot of nausea. Ugh. But I didn't, it wasn't really smell related. It was just the time. I just felt nauseous nearly the whole time. Lovely. And the only thing that took it away was eating, which isn't good. I had to be really careful. There we go. Now, there is something I did which was really naughty the other day. Was on the picture up here. I did the berries and I forgot to put a little white dot on the edge of each, and I did it later and then took a photo and didn't tell you in the video because I'd already finished recording. So I hope I don't forget to do that today, but I'm going to do my berries in mauve. My pencils keep wanting to roll towards me today. I think they're catching on my cardigan. I was thinking of getting a new cardigan. I've had this one for ages. It's nice, it's really warm, which is lovely, and baggy, and it's really, cardigans are so good for hot flushes. Hint for any of you probably know anyway, because you can open and close them easily. But what I also do is I undo like buttons halfway and then push it down over my shoulders for a bit until I cool off, and then pull it back up again rather than taking it fully off, because I find it's only like my sort of chest and top half that get really hot. Maybe I'm also a bit lazy, so I don't have to do it all. Right, I'm going to do all the leaves now, and I am going to use the juniper green and the earth green like we used for these. I think it's going to work. I'm just looking at all the colours we've used. So the same thing as before, so a darker part here and then fading. We've done this for all of, excuse me, all of our leaves so far, and I think it's working. My son seemed to be blowing his nose a lot this morning. I'm hoping he's not going down with freshers flu, but it's that time of year because we're still right in the beginning of October. I'm getting ahead with these videos, partly because I'm really enjoying them, but also I know that Johanna's book's coming out at the end of the month, and what I thought I would try and do is get ahead. I always say this and I never manage it. I'd like to get ahead with the planner as well, so I can do that and put them all in place, schedule them so I know where I'm at and what spaces I've got to record various bits, because it's quite useful knowing, you know, if the planner takes one day, then I've got 6 days worth of afternoon videos to fill. If the planner takes 3 days, then I've obviously only got 4 days to fill. So it sort of influences partly the length of the videos that I'm making, but also what type of videos I do and that sort of thing. This bit confuses me. I think it's just a giant leaf. It must be. I'm just easily confused today. But so if I can sort of get planner videos done, then they're in place and ready, you know. But I've done the I haven't done the Halloween one yet. I've got one before that, I think, still to go. Now I'm grabbing my earth green. I'm just being nosy and looking at what my next planner video is. What's next week's planner? Oh, it's SpongeBob's house. It's the pineapple house from Rooms of Wonder. It's one of my favourite ones from that book, I think, because I actually found Rooms of Wonder quite a challenging book, just because of all the itty-bitty details. I'm not always keen on doing a large picture with lots of teeny tiny bits, you know, and that's why I like the look of Johanna's new book, because we haven't got that so much as far as I can tell. So so that one's quite a good one because it's quite small, and it does have details, but because it's a small picture there's not much. It's fun, but it's not very Halloweeny, is it? A pineapple. It's not even autumnal. I can't even think of, you know, it's quite good having sort of leafy pictures at this time of year. But anyway, I'll do something. I won't, you know, if I was, if I could draw, I could put a pumpkin next to it or something, but no, I can't. So I won't be doing that. Now, I haven't forgotten the fact that we've got these bits on the ground, which I think must be little stones. I think I'm going to do them in a grey. I think we've got a lot of cold colours going on. I think that's going to be the theme of this page, really. I mean, they sort of work better for Halloween, I always think. And so I can do them in grey, I think. It's always tempting to use a warm grey for the ground because you've got a bit of dirt, but I'm not. I'm going to do them in this cold grey 6 that we used somewhere around here for the loops. Now I'm going to try to make them darker at the bottom and lighter at the top, but the ones are very small. It's going to be a bit easier for these larger ones, but even so they're still not big. If it's easier for you to just fill them in or even to use a pen, then there's nothing wrong with that at all. Now I'm not sure if this is supposed to be part of the shoe design or the fact that there's some stones near them, but I'm just gonna colour them in the same. I've got a little idea for the skulls to make them stand out. Oh, that's nice and messy, isn't it? Never mind. To make them stand out a little bit as well. Right, I am happy with the colouring of the pencils, so it's time to grab some pens. My first job is the centre of the flower. Can't find, where did I put them here? Right, I have my Gellyroll Moonlight pens. I have this colour here, which is what I'm going to use for the flower bits. Now you could use a white, but I don't think it's going to stand out. I think a darker colour is going to work better. Or you could even use a black pen or a dark blue pencil, but I just think these teeny details are just going to stand out a bit better with a pen. Okay, just fill that in, that's it. This is number, by the way, 438, just in case you wanted to know the exact number. So that's that one, and we've got all these little magical dots and the star. Now we've been doing the stars all in silver, so that's what I'm going to do. My silver pen, look, it's nearly got none left. So I'm going to do this star in silver here, but I'm also, I want to do my cobweb. Hang about. I'm going to use my white for my cobweb, and I'm thinking we've got that line of stitching along here. Maybe I'll do that. I'm trying to see, was it on the outside or the inside? I think it was here. I can't actually see it, so I'm just drawing it in. And it was lovely and even and small and compact, and mine is thick and messy, and I'm going to do those dots as well. I'm just going to scribble with this pen. Got a bit of paper there which I can scribble on. I should mention that this is a sponsored video, Colouring Heaven, and that in the description there are details different details. You can find out where to buy a copy of this individual book, where to they've got a Halloween bundle, so you can get that. And that was messy, wasn't it? How to subscribe. So there are 3 different things. So that's that and that. Now, scratching my head. These skulls, I'm going to, if I can find my pen, here it is. I'm going to use this pen. Now this is number 700. This is a Gellyroll pen, which isn't part of this. It's not part of the Stardust set. It is just a clear pen with glitter, so there's no gel. So unlike the silver one, which we use for the star, which has got a silvery or grey gel in it, this one's got no gel, so it's just see-through, and I'm going to use it for these little guys. So I'm going to try and just do the bits that I've left white, and it gives them a bit of sparkle, which I think is rather nice. I know Halloween isn't Christmas, but let's have some sparkle. We've got a lot of magic going on. Now, on the boot, we've got these little dots. I've decided to do those in the silver as well. This is the 744. But the dots that I have on the outside, around the edge here, these, I'm going to do in a red. If I can find the red. Is that the red? Just check. 719. Yeah, so the red is number 719. And I'm going to do, let's pull you down a bit, all these little magical dots. Trying not to put my hand on top of any of the bits that I've done already. Wish me luck. And try and stay in the lines at the same time. I've got some really teeny tiny dots here. I'm just going to do my best to go over them all, as I say, as best I can. And it takes a lot of concentration. I can hear talking now. Through the wall, someone's watching TV. I remember when I was growing up, it was always frowned upon to watch TV in the morning. You didn't watch TV until, you could watch breakfast TV, but then you had to sort of switch it off until a decent time of the day. Who knows why? Right, I don't think you can see the shine that well. It's always hard to show in a video, but there is our, I would wear that. Well, not for long, I probably couldn't walk. I think together with our hat, maybe not. Anyway, there is our shoe. I've got a spell book to do tomorrow. Anyway, for today, thank you for watching. Let's do the bit that I said I would forget. Just a tiny bit of white. Just lift those berries. There we go. You could also put a tiny white dot. I'm going to put a few white dots in here. Like that. There we go. You probably can't even see any difference. But there we go. I can. So thank you for watching. Have a super day and happy colouring.